So have you ever had a moment where you have spent so much time studying English and you think, I've studied English so much, so maybe I should be able to speak English a little bit more. One day when you walk on the street, some random foreigners try to ask you for directions in English. But you know what? You couldn't understand what he was saying at all. And then you think, I've studied English so much, but I didn't understand English. You feel disappointed, maybe even frustrated. But here's the thing, it's not because you have not studied so much. It's just because you have the wrong expectations. What do you mean by wrong expectations? So today, let me explain that. If you have a wrong expectations, you are more likely to feel disappointed because you always feel a gap. I feel like most of the disappointment you feel when it comes to English learning, it's not something you need to feel. So that's why I call wrong expectations. So where these wrong expectations comes from? So there are two things. The first one is misjudging the relationship between the result and your efforts. What if I say I study English 15 minutes every single day, so I'll be able to speak English fluently in a month? That sounds crazy, right? Not realistic. Probably it takes more than a year to him to be able to speak English fluently at the current pace. If he has an expectation that he will be able to speak English within a month, he feels disappointed, right? Because there is a gap for sure. But the point here is it doesn't mean that his efforts were wasted. It's just because he didn't have a clear understanding about the difference between where he is and where he wants to be. So the second one is misplacing your focus of your expectations. Let's say you start running every day because you want to tone your stomach. But after a few weeks, you step on the scale and see, my weight hasn't changed at all, and you feel disappointed. But here again, it's a wrong expectations. The goal of the training was not to lose a weight, it's to tone your stomach, right? Sometimes your weight stays because you gain muscles. So just the number on the scale doesn't mean that your efforts were wasted. It's the same with learning English. Let's say you have studied English like practical conversation, but then you take the TOEIC test and you get the score, and you're like, wow, my TOEIC score is so low. There's no connection between the TOEIC test and your speaking ability. So it's not the best idea to measure your study by taking a TOEIC score in this case. So again, in order to have a right expectations, you need to have a clear understanding about where you are and where you want to be. And again, you need to have a right way to measure your efforts